Hey guys, welcome to Unified. This is a segment we like to call Sip and Spill.
Hey, y'all.
This is Kimberly Murphy, and I'm here with Angie Roberts, as usual. And we have a lot to tell you today, actually. Do you want to start, Angie, with the big news?
Well, I was going to say, we're not actually with you as usual.
That's true.
We're, recording from the same house.
We are.
So, I moved to Daytona, and it's been, oh my gosh, this week has been so tiring, but a lot of fun.
Doesn't it feel like it's been longer than a week in some ways?
It does feel like
that. Oh my gosh, I know.
I had never seen the ocean before, and so I got to see the ocean the first time with my son, which was amazing. And he is such a water baby.
Oh my God, I know.
In the ocean, in the pool, in the water park.
It was so funny, you guys, because he was already riding those waves into the beach. It was so funny. He's gonna be a water baby for sure.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But I grew up in a town around lakes and rivers, so it doesn't surprise me that he likes water. But he doesn't like baths. Go figure.
That's a lot. That's typical of toddlers. I think a lot of toddlers share that in common. But okay, so everybody out here knows that what we have in common is the chronic illness. And Angie has fibromyalgia, which we've talked about before. So Angie, what was it like having to move in a cold climate? You had to pack everything yourself. So what was that like?
Well, I packed everything up myself and I moved it out to the pod, and half the time it was snowing. Gotta love Detroit.
All right.
Right. So half the time it was snowing or raining, or it was just cold. It was horrible, actually, but and I had a flare up afterwards, but it's worth it.
She had a pod out in front of her house.
Yeah, I had a pod out in front of my house.
Yeah.
It was kind of a long way to the pod, but my friend brought over a
dolly.
Yes,
right?
A dolly. And so that helped a lot.
I'm sure it did. I wouldn't be able to carry all those boxes either.
Right.
Because you have a back issue too, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and then a 4-year-old trying to help you move on top of that is always just the blast.
Okay, so guys, if anything could go wrong with these two, it did. So they had the issue with the snow and having to load up the pod. And then what happened, Angie?
Then what happened? Let's see. Then, I almost didn't find a ride to the airport. That would have sucked.
Right.
So we get to going towards, my Cash App didn't work, and that was crazy. That's just a long story in itself, but that was a crazy, interesting thing that I had to figure out. And then Kimberly calls me on the way to the airport and says, "Your flight's been delayed, go back home." And I'm like, I don't have another ride, and she has to work. I can't go back home, so I have to take
They were literally on their way to the airport.
Literally, yeah. So I had to take my 4-year-old to the airport and sit for 3 hours. But we ate a couple times and had ice cream.
Right?
So,
actually, wasn't it longer? I think it was even longer than that.
We were there longer than that. Yeah. 4 hours.
It was it seemed like a long time, but
it was a long time. But the plane ride was good, and Kimberly and Aaron are awesome. So,
thank you.
You're welcome.
By the time we got back here, it was really late. It was midnight, right? I think it was midnight.
It was midnight or 12:30.
Yeah, so it was kind of we got here and crashed, but the next day they got to check out Daytona. And the funny thing is, right now we are under an advisory. So we have a surf advisory, which is not that uncommon. The rip currents are really bad, but we're also under a man of war jellyfish advisory, and the Portuguese ones are here. So they have tentacles that are 100. They can get up to 150 feet long. I'm learning this right now.
I'm scared, y'all.
They are super beautiful though. They're these they're like blue. They're this beautiful
Gorgeous,
color of blue.
yeah.
Yeah, they really are pretty. But everyone's like saying, "Yo, stay out of the water." And of course, all of us went in the water. We were in the water.
We had a great time in the water.
But we won't do that again until it's safe.
Right.
None of us were stung, thank goodness. But
We
there's a
didn't see
lot on the,
anything, so.
yeah, we didn't see anything. And the lifeguards said they only saw one on that particular beach that day. But I have since walked on the beach and they are all over the beach. So we are going to wait it out. No more beach until it's cleared out. And
Couple
that
weeks,
should be
somebody
soon.
said.
Yeah, a couple weeks, it should be good. So we've got pools and stuff until then.
Right. And
But-
so, yeah, my pod, the good thing is my pod is, well, it should be here in the next couple of days, probably.
Yeah, I think so
this
too.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, which Jacob
So
will
it's
be
exciting.
incredibly happy about.
Yes, all his dinosaurs are in there. So.
Although I have to say he's done extremely well. I can't even believe how well he's done. He's been so happy most of the time. It hasn't really bothered him at all. So,
Right.
but I think it'll be like Christmas when his stuff gets here.
He will be so happy.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've been spending some time together. It was kind of strange because we've known each other forever, and it was
Mhm.
the first time we met each other, and like in person, it didn't feel weird to me at all.
Me
I don't
either.
know about. Okay, so
Yeah. It was just
So-
like, oh, hey.
hey, how you doing? Yeah. So
I've seen
and
you in forever.
right, and we have a really big house here, so everyone's getting along really well, and it's working out good. So I think it's going to be a good situation. Personally, I think that they, I believe that they think so too.
Yes, definitely.
And we're doing lots of fun stuff every day, and I think Jacob is extremely happy because the weather is so good here, and he gets to do stuff outside a lot, and what kid doesn't love to do that? So anyways, we'll stop talking about children, even though a lot of you are moms.
Right.
So
So you know how that goes.
yeah, so we'll be talking about Florida a lot more now that we're both Floridians.
Yes, we are.
So, and we'll be bringing some more pictures to you all on our website. So definitely check out our social media. You'll be seeing more of us there. So I know everybody's been checking out Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and everyone has their opinions, and we are team Johnny Depp. I'm sure
Our
most
team
people
Johnny
are.
Depp.
I gotta say I wasn't at first, only because I know Johnny's had a lot of substance abuse issues, and I don't necessarily fault him for that. And I'm not saying, oh well, he's a substance abuse user and he had all these issues, so that automatically makes him abusive. But a lot of times when somebody has an alcohol issue or a drug addiction issue, they don't necessarily know what they're doing all the time, and they can get
Right.
abusive. So it wasn't hard for me to make that leap, you know what I mean,
Right,
in judgment. But since I've seen the reels and the court videos and all of that,
Yeah, the recordings for the
oh
recordings.
my God,
I mean, what
what the
heck?
as like Jacob likes to say, what the what?
Right.
So the latest one that I saw was when Amber Heard was talking about how he was such a baby because she slapped him she punched him, but it wasn't really a punch because it wasn't like, okay, so I didn't have my hand open, so it wasn't a slap. Like she was seriously talking semantics about how she hit him.
Yeah, but he said you did have your hand closed.
Yep.
And
And then she's like, you're such a baby. Like, you're such a baby. Oh,
It's not like I beat you up.
Right. And he's like, I was trying to leave. Of course I'm going to leave if you start beating on me. And now, and everybody has learned, you know, if we didn't already know, that Johnny Depp had this situation with his mother. So he was raised in this situation, and now here he is with his, you know, with Amber going through the same thing. So he's trying to leave an abusive situation, and she's calling him a baby because that's what he was trying to do. She's talking semantics and gaslighting him.
It's crazy.
Cuts the tip off his finger.
Right.
They had to like fix that and see, what is it called, CGI, through his movie, because she actually was throwing whiskey bottles at him.
Jesus.
Yeah.
This poor man. Like,
She
I know
She
he's
defecated in his bed.
Yeah.
Like, who does this? Like,
on his side of the bed. Yeah.
And like when you listen to the recordings, I mean, I guess they used to record each other once they got to a certain point in their arguments. The recordings are like really hard to listen to because she is just really vile towards him.
Right.
And he's very quiet.
It's gonna be interesting to hear what she has recorded.
I'd really like to hear what she has to say. I think we're all kind of waiting to see how she's going to defend herself. Her lawyer is a total joke.
Right.
They've totally botched their side of things so far, and it's kind of become comedy. If you look on TikTok and everywhere, like people are laughing so hard because, I mean, these people have asked questions and then objected to themselves, and Johnny's even like helping the lawyers out because they don't know what they're doing. But yeah, it's kind of funny. I haven't
watched any of the actual, like, a big part of the trial.
Yeah, you'll have to check that part out because it's really funny. But I mean, it is a serious thing that's going on, and
men get abused too, and
yes.
It doesn't have enough awareness.
It doesn't, and like even if she isn't as strong as he is, it doesn't matter. If he refuses to hit her back because he doesn't want to abuse her, and he's trying to leave and she restrains him from leaving, and she's hitting him with bottles and she's punching him and all this other stuff, that's abuse. I mean,
absolutely.
And she's gaslighting him, and you know, they're saying also, she was saying that she was trying to pass herself off as having PTSD, as having borderline personality disorder. And, you know, they testified that that was not true. She does not have any of these disorders. There was an expert on the stand that said, no, that's not true. She said that she was going to use money well, you remember she was like the Me Too movement. She was supposed to be the poster. I will fight for all of you in the Me Too movement. I will do everything I can. And she was going to use all the money for charities. She didn't use any of the money for charities. As a matter of fact, when they tried to use the money for charities, they were basically yelled at for doing so. And her assistant testified that she's very much all about image. It really has nothing to do with, all she cares about is her image. And that she's really not the kind of person she puts herself out to be. So this has got to be killing her right now. This has got to be eating her up. Could you imagine if she's all about image, what this is doing to her right now? I mean,
well, it's really making her look like a horrible person.
Well, it's just the truth is being exposed, and I swear this woman is like, the way she looks in court, man, she looks like she's about to lose it at any second. I mean, I don't know how she's holding it together because she looks like she's about to lose it at any second, for real. And I think it's kind of like, I mean, I don't know, she seems she could be narcissistic, like from all the stuff that we've done in the past for the podcasts. She's definitely gaslighting him for sure.
Oh, for sure.
He said that she's very controlling, and I think we've all seen that, and just the recordings that they've done. It's just like, you never know what's going on, like even in their lives. Think about this, like there are people that just would love to be them and must think they have the perfect lives, and look what's going on even in their lives.
Right, like it's totally just like everybody else's.
I mean, we're talking about Johnny Depp here. We're talking about Johnny Depp, like of all people, right?
Right.
That's so crazy. Yeah. So I mean, I think some good will come of this. I don't know about you, but I think Johnny Depp could really he's bringing a lot of awareness to domestic violence for men.
He is.
Nothing else.
And that's a wonderful thing, actually, because
it's really positive.
Yeah, there's just not enough of it.
No, and I think a lot of people are standing up in his defense, and now people are starting to talk about it. And no matter what happens with the trial, I mean, that right there is like a really positive thing. I don't know if you guys can hear Kizzy in the background.
I was about to say, hey, Kizzy.
Our little mascot.
Yeah, she's
always has to be in a show, a podcast. Silly cat. But I mean, what is your take on it? Do you think that there's any way that Amber could actually change our minds at this point?
I mean, she would have to, I don't know. I think the only way, what would change my mind was if they just fought constantly each other, but it doesn't seem like that was the case. That sometimes that was the case, but other times she was actually abusing him.
Right. And they were saying like a lot recently, they've been talking about mutual abuse.
Right.
And there's a lot of negative connotation around that. They're like, there's no such thing as mutual abuse. And people are starting to discuss, is that really something?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why there wouldn't be.
My ex-husband and I were mutually abusive.
Right. So why can't there be? Like, why are some people
Because
saying
I
there
was,
isn't?
and he was.
Exactly.
Mutually, together, we were
right.
abusive.
So why are some people saying that there's
explosive? Sorry, I don't know. Because they have the lack of knowledge.
Right. So, I mean, I agree that people can be mutually abusive towards each other.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So we might find out that that's the case here. I'm hoping that's not true. So far, it sounds like Johnny Depp is not abusive towards her, but we might find out that there's some ugly things that he's kind of withholding. She might have some of her own tapes that we haven't heard. So, of course, they're going to make him look good when they're telling his side. So we'll see what happens. Right. But it would take a lot to get me to side with her at this point. Yeah, she's a really vile person.
She's a vile person, and she's a great actress. So, you know.
Exactly. Well, yeah. Well, they both are. They're both good at that.
That's true. Yeah.
They're
both great at acting. But I don't. The look on Johnny Depp's face during some of those things that are being played, you could just tell he was hurt.
That, and she really destroyed his career. He worked really hard on,
Pirates and
especially that one. And they dropped him.
Others.
They dropped him from that series because of her and what she did, that whole thing that she wrote up.
Right.
And so in the lawsuit or whatever, I think that's what the reason they dropped him, right? I'm not really sure. I wasn't following it then, but I know it had something to do with their relationship and the exposure. But I mean, think about how hard he worked on that character and how much money he brought to that film company, and like just how much joy he brought everybody.
Right.
It's sad for him to lose that, and to lose his reputation, and to lose. Hopefully this is going to build his reputation back. He's going to get his career back, hopefully, and be able to start working again. I hope that happens for him, because the way he was feeling before this was that he would never work again.
Okay, I just Googled why was Johnny Depp fired, and it come up from Fantastic Beasts, and this was because of he was forced to leave the franchise after the first two films, after his legal battle with his ex-wife Amber, who was accusing him of domestic violence. So it was Fantastic Beasts that dropped him, actually.
Right, but he said he also wasn't able to go back to Pirates either. That was not going to be filmed again. Because I think it just spiraled from there. But yes, I remember that. Yeah, Fantastic Beasts. Okay. Now, also, I heard recently, it might be a rumor, so don't everyone get excited that I didn't hear anything y'all didn't hear. So, but they're saying now again that maybe Amber might be dropped from Aquaman 2, and of course, everyone would love to have Emilia Clarke play in her role instead, so that we can all see Jason and Amelia together again, all you Game of Thrones fans out there. Right. I would love to see that. They were remarkable together, and it would be so awesome to see them together. I would love it so much. I really hope they do that, and Amber should not be in the movie.
Well, I think she's going to get ex-nated now that she's an abusive person.
I hope so, but I don't know how much filming they've already done, and this is really could backlash on Jason Momoa, and I think this is really going to upset him if they have to cancel the film.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting, and he's got a lot of personal stuff going on in his life right now, so...
Sure.
Could you imagine? I'm kind of glad I'm not in... I'm glad I'm not in their business. Like everybody knows everything they're doing. It's got to be really hard to be in the spotlight all the time. Everyone knowing all your business like this, but
I would hate it, actually.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I put stuff on Facebook, but it's my choice what I put on there.
I mean, just us doing this and putting our business out there has been hard for me because I'm a really private person, but so I can't even imagine what they do. I mean, so that's, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. So we did want to mention, moving on from that, we did want to mention that this month is Lupus Awareness Month. We have done many lupus podcasts. We did one with the Lupus Sorority Group. If you want to look back and see, listen to that one. They built their own sorority. They do a lot of work for lupus. What she said, it was to raise money towards an actual cure. That's what they do.
Yes.
And then we did a lupus episode to educate people on lupus itself.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's also Mental Health Awareness Month.
It is.
Yes.
They're both in the same month.
Yes. That would kill us if we were trying to do all these podcasts.
Seriously, like we have to at least mention it.
Right, but I mean, we do plenty of mental health.
And we have many mental health. And it's also Fibromyalgia Awareness Month.
Oh.
And we do have
you, me, and us.
Yes. So we do have a podcast on that as well. So,
yes.
Please go back and listen to our previous seasons. You can find, people keep asking me this. I'm not sure why it's hard to find us. We will try to make it easier. Maybe we just need to periodically post this information on our social media so you guys can find it. But if you go to anchor.fm/unified, all of our podcasts, all of our episodes will be right there. It's very easy. You can also go, and on that page, actually, there'll be our YouTube. There'll be Spotify. There'll be all these different ways that you can listen to the podcast. So, and then we have a Facebook page where we actually put out the podcast. We do on Twitter also. So we try to put Instagram also. We try to give you all these ways to listen. We try to put it out everywhere. So, and if you're having a hard time finding it, just ask one of us. We're connected to a lot of people. So, we really do try to make it easy.
It's probably good to drop it once a week or so.
Yeah.
Just every so often.
We'll try to make it easier for you guys because a lot of people are like, how do I find it? There's still people who can't find it, and especially the previous one. So we'll try to make that easier for you guys.
It is harder on YouTube because you got to go to video playlist or video list or something like that.
Right. And on Anchor, it's all listed from, it starts from the latest one, and as you go down to it'll gradually go back to the first one. So
and on Anchor, y'all can leave us voice messages about how well you like the podcast,
which we did get one last week. Thank you for your message. We really appreciate it, and we will be getting back to you, so thank you for that.
And then any questions you may have or anything, that way we can interact with you guys more.
Which we love, and you can also give us ideas. We've had people reach out and say, hey, can you do a podcast about this or that? And we love suggestions. We're actually working on a podcast right now that was a suggestion from one of our listeners, so we really appreciate that, and we welcome the suggestions.
Yes, definitely. Anything y'all want to hear about, learn about, let us know.
Absolutely. So, do we have anything else this week?
No.
I think that's it. I think that's it. That was a lot. All right. So make sure you join us again next week for a regular episode with Unified. We'll have a full episode for you guys. And until then, make sure you stay safe. Remember that we're stronger together.
Peace out, y'all.